What's up, YouTube? I'm Brad from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys will help us get there. Alright, so this is our Season 3, Episode 7 review for American Gods. Overall, I thought this was an episode that really got American Gods back on track. I thought the last episode really was below par for this season because I've enjoyed almost every episode this season except the last episode. And yes, I know there was some things that was good about last episode. I thought the Demeter scenes with Wednesday were pretty good. I thought Bilquist finding herself was really interesting. There was some really good scenes, but overall I felt like the characters weren't progressing the story, and that bothered me. But as far as this episode goes, I thought they started off on the right track, just getting right straight into the action. We finally get the answer of whether Wednesday actually truly did care about Demeter when he's in the car and he's kind of sulking over it, and Cordelia is trying to try to break him out of it, say, hey, you want to talk about it? And of course he doesn't want to talk about it, but then a body flies out of the sky, and we get to see him being threatened a little bit. He rushes her back up in the car. Of course, she's freaking out. And the only problem that I had with that scene was a little bit later on. They did not show him telling her that who he actually was. Instead, we find out later when she comes to Shadow Moon at Lakeside that he told her who he was and what all this was about, and she's freaking out about that. I wish we could have got to see Cordelia being told this by Wednesday instead of her, it being an off-screen moment. That was disappointing for me. I'm one of those people. I guess it's the author in me of, don't tell me, show me, kind of things, and that was a little disappointing for me. But I can overlook that. I really enjoyed the moments between Cordelia and Shadow Moon just as much as I enjoy it between Cordelia and Wednesday. I feel like characters in American Gods do better in pairs for some reason. I don't know why. It just seems like when they're on their own and they're kind of out in the middle of nowheres and there's no other character to go along with them, I feel like they fail miserably. Whether that be Laura Moon without Sweeney, or Shadow Moon without Wednesday. I just feel like a lot of these characters, if they don't have somebody there with them, one of these other popular characters, I feel like they really struggle. They really struggle. But I do enjoy, like I said, Cordelia is getting to be one of my favorite characters of this show. I really enjoy her. I think she's going to play a bigger role. At least I hope she is. I think there's maybe a little secret about her that we don't exactly know, that we'll be finding out a little bit later in the season, either this season or next season. And I'll tell you where I think it is. Bilquist. Bilquist is she sees a vision, and it's of Shadow Moon. And so she goes to this part in Chicago, and on the side of, I think it says 1619, and that has to do with, slavery. When the slaves were first brought over here to America. And she goes in there and she sees a lot of people dancing. And she comes across this old woman that was in her vision. I think her name was Eugenia. And at first, it was one of the funniest moments when Eugenia basically told her, I don't want nothing to do with you, because Eugenia thought that she was a part of the church, and she's like, I don't care about your God, your religion, any of this other kind of stuff. I just want my plate and I want to be left alone. So Bilquist hands her back her plates and just leaves her alone, but she finally does show the woman who she really is, and the woman finally opens up, and we get to see that this woman was the midwife for Shadow Moon when Shadow Moon was born. Now she makes a comment about two sides of it. You know, basically the light and the dark side, which is very odd to me because who is the other side to Shadow Moon? Basically, you know, she tells Bilquis you have to unite the two together to save the world, basically. But to me, I'm like, I'm assuming that Shadow Moon is the light because we get to see, you know, Laura sees him as that. She sees his light wherever he goes. She follows that light. So I'm assuming he's the light side. So does that mean that he's got a secret twin maybe out there? Does he have maybe is it a lover? Maybe is it Laura that is his light and dark side? Is that like maybe some kind of representation in that regard? Like I don't know. I would say that maybe if Laura and him were together, she would be his dark side because you know she's very cynical and very down and out, and that's one of the things that drives me crazy about her is she used to be one of my favorite characters, but this season she's so lacking because she's so cynical, and it's not in a fun way because you don't have Sweeney there to really take the jabs. It's more of just spiteful and angry, and it's not funny. And I guess why I take offense to it now more than I did when it was Sweeney or when it was Shadow Moon taking it, or even Wednesday, is because I like Salim. I like Salim. He's one of my favorite characters on this show. I think he's one of the nicest guys on this show, the purest of heart characters on this show. And then, of course, they're now off, together. Laura invites him to go help her find Wednesday to kill him. And he goes off to find him. But then when Mr. World goes and finds them and tries to tell them, okay, well, we'll work together to find Wednesday and we'll help you kill him. And what drives me crazy is that moment where he's like, you know what? They're going to take advantage of you. You don't know what you're doing. Let me try to help you. I was a businessman. I've dealt with this kind of stuff before. He says, I'm really good at this. Just let me handle it. And she brings up things about his home country. She brings up things about, well, you're doing this because I'm a woman and you think that I just don't know anything. All of this kind of stuff. I thought that was so reprehensible in her part. That's something that they've kind of stayed away from a lot in American Gods is, bringing up these kind of moments. And plus she was completely and totally wrong, and he even called her out on it. He's like, no, it's not because you're a woman. It is because I have experience at this. You don't. One, you're really cynical and just got a bloodlust in your eyes, and you're not thinking straight where I am. And also, women can drive and have certain legal aspects in his home country. I think it was Oman, but it just kind of pissed me off that she went that route with him. And she kind of does be like, okay, I'll apologize a little bit. But I just felt like that was just really a dirty thing for her to do to him. Especially if you're gonna say something like that to somebody, at least get something right. At least know what you're talking about. And she didn't know what she was talking about when it come to Salim, and that pissed me off because, like I said, Salim is one of my favorite characters, and he's just a nice guy. He's the only true nice person on this show that doesn't have ulterior motive. You could say maybe Shadow Moon, but Shadow Moon's also got his ulterior motives too. But I mean, Salim is just one of the natural, friendly guys on this show. But he did actually work out a pretty good deal, and he played hardball with Mr. World. Mr. World was like, okay, we'll give you this, this, and this. And he's like, You're gonna make sure that we're safe. You're going to provide us an escape plan for things. You're going to protect us. You're going to not kill us, basically, after this happens. You're not going to double cross us. because he understood this one thing. There's specific things that these gods have to abide by, and a lot of it has to do with their um, these agreements, and they usually have to abide by those. So you could kind of see Mr. World kind of going, okay, you know, fine, you kind of got me on this one. Um, I will abide by your rules. But I'll tell you another part that I thought, you know what, Salim's got some balls on him is when he's talking to, I think it's Mean, and they're sitting there talking with Mr. World, and Salim says something to him, and it means like, you know, this is kind of between Laura and Mr. World. You can maybe wait out in the lobby. He's like, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. I'm done waiting out in the lobby. You know, I love that aspect of him. But I'll tell you one thing I did not like about that scene was the background. I don't know if the background was supposed to mean something with the ant coming through or the seal getting the penguin in the background. I don't know if that's a metaphor for maybe the way Mr. World is going to do them later on or something along those lines. I don't know. But it was very distracting in the background when they were talking. And I just did not enjoy that aspect of this episode. I thought they could have done away with the background. But Danny Trejo as Mr. World is awesome. He's just great all the way around. You know, yes, I've complained about Miss World. I didn't enjoy her character. I did like the original Mr. World, but I really enjoy Danny Trejo's version of it. I hope they stick with that through the rest of the really, well, not just this season, but the rest of the show. He's just a really great actor. I mean, he just really, you know, Danny Trejo has been kind of typecast as this like badass that's just supposed to go over there and just wreck things, but he's a really good actor, really good person. That really, you know, I'm glad he's highlighted in this show. I'm glad that they're showing him the respect that I kind of felt like they didn't show. Or what is his name, Orlando Jones, in this. You know, they're let's just put it this way: American Gods doesn't exactly have a good track record of treating their actors and actresses well. So I'm glad that you know they're able to bring in these cast members, and these cast members still want to be a part of this show, because I'll tell you, it didn't look good at the end of season 2. It kind of looked like maybe this show was going to fall apart in a lot of ways. But luckily, you know, they brought it back, and season 3 has been great so far. But at the end, okay, you know, just even continuing the story, Lakeside. I still don't really like the idea of Lakeside. I did think it was pretty cool when we got to see, Marguerite and Shadow Moon on the ice, and Shadow Moon falls on the ice skating, and he looks down and he sees this Hindu, I guess it's a Hindu elephant. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know that. I don't know who the god was that he was speaking to, but a coin pops up and goes right straight to that car that's on the ice. Now I was disappointed that they didn't. That he didn't just go right straight to it and find out what was in that car. I'm assuming it's that girl's body. I really am assuming that it's that girl's body, and if so, I'm really sad about that. But I think we kind of knew that there was probably going to be something really tragic that was going to happen. I mean, it's not a town that that exactly. I mean, it's got this mirage of looking like a great place to live, but actually being kind of sinister down below the surface. So looks like that's probably where they're going to go with this. But overall, I mean, I like Shadow Moon and Marguerite's relationship so far. I thought they were, I don't know, they got some chemistry. Let's just put it that way. They got good chemistry. Something that I felt like Shadow Moon and Laura don't have. You know, I don't feel like that they connect well together, but I feel like Marguerite and Shadow Moon do real good together. They're real good. They Um, I don't know. It's just like Laura is so. Every time that Shadow Moon is hopeful about something, it's like Laura's there to bring him down, and I just don't like that aspect of her. I just feel like until she gets a little bit better perspective on life, stay away from Shadow Moon. Stay away from him because I like his hopeful way of just continuing to move forward. I like that aspect about Shadow Moon. I think that's what makes him so valuable of a character on this show. Definitely of a protagonist. He's what a protagonist is supposed to be. But yeah, I mean, there's that. Um, but as far as as we get to the end of the episode, we finally learn. Johan, um, and finally goes and uh, meets with somebody we weren't exactly expecting, and that was Tyr. And he's going to go try to kill him. Uh, Now, at the beginning of this episode, um, uh, we saw Marilyn Manson in his berserker form, I guess you could say, going up to the body of that burned corpse and seeing that fell from the sky, going up to it and getting this vision that shows Tyr in it. I don't know if Tyr drugged them and if Tyr's maybe responsible for Johan's bandmate's death or what it is. I'm assuming that's what it is because he goes up there to Tyr and Tyr's like, you probably don't want to do this, dude. And of course, Tyr, basically just rips his stomach out and kills him. But and that's uh, right before Wednesday can get there. Yeah, and he finds on the corpse of Johan this letter. And this letter basically is like, I'm going to go after your boy Wednesday. Your boy Shadow Moon. I'm assuming that this all has to do with Demeter. That it's this love triangle that I really wasn't really that fascinated with to begin with. But it looks like Tyr is holding a really severe grudge. So he's like, you took the woman I love down and go kill your kid. Like, that doesn't seem like a rational thing a person would do. By far, it's not a rational thing an individual would do. But it kind of fits with what these gods would actually do on this show. So it doesn't actually shock me in that regard. I think we all kind of know how this is going to end. Of course, there was that last vision with Shadow Moon, in the ice storm and seeing it looks like Odin going through the ice storm, and there's all these bodies and all that's trying to grab hold of him. If I had to guess, I would say that those bodies are probably the dead of Lakeside, that are basically buried in these random places. I would say it's that, or it could just be something to do with Wednesday and Odin. Like, it could just be something along those lines. I don't know. We'll find out next episode. But overall, I did enjoy this episode a lot more than I enjoyed the last episode. If I had to give it a grade, I would say maybe like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. It was really good. I still feel like it hasn't gone back to the way it was a few episodes ago where it was just like hitting every mark. But overall, I thought it's getting there. It's getting there. We're getting to the finale of it. We're getting, the pieces all together. And we're going to see, a big battle scene between Tyr and Wednesday next episode. So I'm looking forward to that. I think we all know Shadow Moon's not in danger. But I'm enjoying this Cordelia thing with Wednesday. Like, she's really loyal to him. I'm almost kind of wondering if she's the other half, because if you think about it, Wednesday during this episode gave her a way out. If she didn't accept this role, she could go. He was giving her a way out. He's never been so nice to anybody like that. So could be something there with that. There is some kind of connection between Cordelia and Shadow Moon in some form or fashion, and they could be siblings. They could be, and that would be a really cool way of bringing that all together. There's always a reason why Wednesday picks specific people. So it's not just out of the blue. She wasn't just agreeing, finding this person online and then agreeing to work with them. There's always more to the story than that. But we'll just have to see next episode. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Let me know if y'all thought this was a pretty good episode overall. Or tell me the things that you thought was wrong with it if you didn't enjoy it. But as always, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. And y'all